Where we're at right now is I have spoke to the UFC on multiple occasions about this fight. I'm chasing it up. I want the fight. There needs to be updates. Do you know what I mean? I see a lot of articles out there online saying a load of different things that's just not true. Do you know what I mean? It's just not true.
Tom Aspinall took to his YouTube channel today to give us an update on where we're at with the Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall fight. And it looks like Tom Aspinall is still in the dark the same way that we are. And there's some other things going on in terms of divisions being held up and all of that. And I actually have an idea as to what's going to happen instead of Aspinall versus Jones. So stick around to hear the latest update on the potential super fight between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall. I'm Wyatt. This is Fight Society. Before we get into the video, guys, please make sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment down below. All that good YouTube stuff really helps me out a lot. If you want access to bonus content like members-only live streams and you want to support the channel even further, become a channel member via the link in the description of this video or the join button on our channel homepage. Thank you very much. Back to the video. All right, guys, so Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, the heavyweight matchup that we've all been waiting on between many people's best MMA fighter of all time in Jon Jones and the best heavyweight right now in my eyes, Tom Aspinall. Many of us are waiting on an answer as to not when this fight's going to happen, but if this fight's going to happen. And Tom Aspinall gave us a little bit of an update today. So we're going to talk about that, and we got some other things to talk about as well. But here's what Tom Aspinall had to say about where we're at with a Jon Jones fight right now. This video literally dropped today. This is the fresh scoop, guys.
Where we're at right now is I have spoke to the UFC on multiple occasions about this fight. I'm chasing it up. I want the fight. I've been on record and said that I want the fight. I've been the UFC saying that I want the fight. When's it happening? I want the fight more than anyone. What is holding it up right now is his side. That's the truth of it.
Now, this is not news or a surprise that it's Jon Jones holding up this fight from happening. It's good to know that even Tom Aspinall is a little bit unaware as to why things aren't happening, why we don't have an announcement. Is Jon retiring? Is he vacating? Let's see.
The UFC really, really want the fight to happen. They've told me that. This is, as I said, this is one of the biggest fights that can be made in MMA right now. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows it. It's just, does he want to put himself in a position where he's comfortable enough financially to take the risk that he's taking to fight me? And that is where we're at. Like, the UFC tell me, they assure me that they are doing everything they can to make this fight. So
what that tells me is that Jon Jones has been offered $30 to $40 million, whatever that crazy fuck you money is that he says he wants. If the UFC says they're doing everything to make the fight happen, that tells me they've offered Jon Jones, and that tells me they've offered Jon Jones a ridiculous amount of money for this fight.
It's totally, as far as I'm aware, this is now totally down to Jon Jones and his team to work that out, because I'm in. The UFC are in. They assure me that they desperately want to make the fight. Every time I speak to them, they say we are working as hard as we can on the fight, and I'm literally just waiting for a date.
When they say we're working on the fight as hard as we can, I'm a little bit confused, because what is there to work out? Okay, like when you think of how a fight comes together, who, what, when, where, why, how. Who? Tom Aspinall. We know that. What? A fight. When? We don't know. Why? For the title, for the UFC heavyweight title. Where? We don't know. How? How much money? They've probably offered him a ridiculous sum. So that just tells me we have basically everything tightened up except for when and where. Because if they're doing everything they can and they've offered Jon Jones a ridiculous amount of money, who, what, why, and how much money are all taken care of. When and where. That's the only things that matter at this point. So Jon Jones has got to come to a decision here. Let's see what Tom Aspinall has to say. But I have a few things to say about this entire situation.
I'm not bothered where it is. I'm not bothered who it's against, to be honest. It's not just the Jon Jones fight I'm looking for. I'm looking to fight, man. Like, I'm in shape. I've been working hard since way before Christmas. I've been in the gym twice.
And this is the unfair thing, is that Jon Jones is holding up Tom Aspinall's career, which is just ridiculous.
today. My diet's good. I've been sparring. I've got international training partners here. I am prepared to fight anybody.
Kill it! Right here! Right now!
But what's holding it back is the UFC want to make the fight with me and Jon. And as far as I'm aware, it's now about, I don't know, maybe financial or otherwise, I'm not too sure, to be honest, but I'm just waiting for the call right now. I'm 100% ready to go.
Now, Tom Aspinall makes a very, very big and important statement right here that you guys got to pay attention to, because it's going to play into a few other things that I mentioned throughout the rest of this video.
And it has to be for the undisputed title more important.
Yeah, one thing I want to be really clear on is that I am only fighting for the undisputed title. That's my only discrepancy. I will fight absolutely anyone. We can look through my record, you can speak to any promoter that I've ever worked with, UFC or otherwise. I have absolutely never turned down a fight in my life, never turned down an opponent, and I'm not going to start now. What we need to be clear on though is that I have done enough in the UFC to fight for the undisputed title. I am the best heavyweight in the world, and I just want a chance to prove it.
Perfect. And that's what Tom Aspinall deserves. Now, there's a few things to talk about here because, in my opinion, Jon Jones knows whether or not he's taking this fight. Jon Jones knows. I think that it's yes with a but. It's yes to Aspinall, but there is something that needs to take place first, okay? I think that Jon Jones is waiting to see if Alex Pereira beats Magomed Ankalaev this weekend, because Jon has stated that he would vacate the heavyweight title to fight Alex Pereira in like a super fight, non-title fight that would obviously headline a pay-per-view. But I don't think that Jon Jones is all that keen on fighting Tom Aspinall because there's a possibility for Pereira. Now, if Pereira loses to Ankalaev, I think we either get a Jones retirement or a Jones versus Aspinall announcement. But if Pereira wins, I think Jon is going to be campaigning to vacate the heavyweight belt and fight Alex Pereira at a heavyweight fight, feature some sort of super matchup type of thing, a super fight, and then you get Tom Aspinall fighting Ciryl Gane for the vacant heavyweight title. That's what I think is a possibility. That's what I think Jon Jones is waiting to see, because Jon Jones has talked about vacating the belt to fight Alex Pereira. He said this before and after UFC 309 where he beat Stipe. I think this is a very possible scenario that not a lot of people are considering right now in regards to the Aspinall-Jones fight. The other thing to consider is that Jon Jones is holding up this division and holding up people's careers because essentially he wants a fight that the UFC doesn't want to give him in Pereira. Dana's been very clear that they don't want Pereira at heavyweight. And they don't like the whole double champ thing anymore. Diego Lopez talked about this after Ilia Topuria vacated his belt. I've said this on live streams and stuff. I think that Jon Jones is holding up the division because he might retire, he might not, but as long as he is the current active heavyweight champion, best fighter of all time, Jon Jones, his appearances, meet and greets, seminars, sponsorships, all those things are 5 or 10x bigger in terms of the paychecks when he has all of those accolades tied to his name. If Jon Jones retires and is no longer the active heavyweight champion, those sponsorships, those meet and greets, the checks get smaller and those calls come less often. Now, do I think Jon Jones fights again? Yeah, I do. I think it's more likely that Jon Jones fights again than Conor McGregor fights again. But I think he's going to angle for this fight with Pereira. And something that I wanted to bring your guys' attention to is that we have Ilia Topuria, who literally vacated the belt. He's not trying to, do an interim, wait around to see what I want to do. He vacated his featherweight belt to become a lightweight contender with no promise of an immediate title shot. That's how these divisions need to get treated. Jon Jones is ruining a division that's already on life support, basically. 30 fighters in the heavyweight division in the UFC. 30 fighters in the UFC heavyweight division. 15 of them are ranked. Probably 20 of them, of those 30, are not very good. But you have Jon Jones at the top of it with Tom Aspinall and a few other top fighters, Pavlovich, Spivak, Ciryl Gane, Jailton Almeida. There's names, okay? But the division's on life support. The future isn't very bright because Tom Aspinall could probably just run up title defenses until he's 45 years old if he really wants to. But Jon Jones is ruining this division, and he needs to do what Ilia Topuria did. If you're not sure if you want to fight for the heavyweight belt, Vacate, walk away. Topuria doesn't want to make the weight at 145 anymore, so he moved up. He vacated. That's what needs to happen with these divisions. And I think that we're going to have an answer after this Saturday in terms of Pereira versus Jones being a possibility, because if Pereira wins, which I think he will, I think Jones is going to campaign for that fight. So let me know what you guys think. Do you respect Jon for going after this Pereira fight, or do you think that it's just him ducking Tom even further? What do you think happens next with Jon Jones, with the heavyweight title, and with Tom Aspinall? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Please make sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment down below. All that good YouTube stuff really helps me out a lot. If you want access to bonus content, become a channel member through the link below this video or the join button on our channel homepage. If you're interested in some non-MMA content from me, go check out my podcast, What's Up Bro, with Wyatt and Bo, linked below this video. Go watch this suggested video, and I'll see you next time.